Shalom, shalom, Israel, shalom. It's Brother Raya. Want to give all honor and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, by Shema Mashiach, wa Malak Yahushua. Another strong shalom to all that are mighty brothers that go out there and labor on highways and byways, making their body living sacrifice in the rain, the tumults, the demons, the uprises, the uproars, that out there standing 10 toes down for the name of the Lord. Another strong shalom to all that are mighty brothers that are not out there as of yet, but building themselves up, reading, praying, fasting, taking notes, doing everything they could do to put themselves in a position to shake the hand and wake up the hopeful elect. Another strong shalom to all that are mighty aquaf in this thing, actually sincerely reverencing their husbands, being teachers of good things to the children at home, being quiet, shamefaced, submissive, loving, steadfast, cooking, sewing, cleaning, doing all of the righteous acts of our foremothers on fire for the Lord. Another strong shalom to all that are mighty sisters that are not, you understand, married as of yet, but they're building themselves up, remaining shamefaced. And last but not least, another strong shalom to all of the children in this thing, abstaining from all lust and concupiscence and peer pressure, standing 10 toes down for the name of the Lord. Right, this is going to be a quick video on doing the work of the Lord. There's a lot of brothers, man, you've been in this thing for a while. Been in this thing for a year, 2 years, and maybe even 3 to 5 years, and you still have yet to set your hand to the plow. You still have yet to do the work. And there's a lot of brothers that are already in this truth, and y'all just on the bandwagon. Y'all not really putting that work in. You don't want to be that brother that's just on the bench while everybody else is sweating. Everybody else is doing the work. Everybody else is running drills, and you just showing up to practice. Or that brother just always got something to say in the stands. You want to be that brother going to the gym, week in, week out, sweating, running drills, running suicides, doing all that they can do to help win this championship, man. And this kingdom is coming. Every single day, the elect is being sealed. Every single day, prophecy is coming to pass. Every single day, the Lord is adding and subtracting men out of the garden doing the work of the Lord, man. It's the book of John, chapter 21, and I'm going to start at verse 15. So when they had dined, Yahushua said unto Peter, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me more than these? He saith unto him, Yea, Lord, thou knowest that I love thee. He saith unto him, Feed my lambs. And a lot of brothers, they say they love the Lord. The Lord said, If ye love me, do what? Do my commandments. And brothers act like doing the work isn't a commandment. Brothers act like doing the work isn't a necessity, man. It isn't something you have to do. It's a choice. And last time I checked, when the Lord put the spirit on man, it's not a choice at that point, man. You're required to labor. You're required to put forth your hand. Whether it's passing out flyers, teaching your family, you're required to do something as a man other than just put fringes on and grow your beard out, man. It's deeper than that, man. I mean, the Lord is raising up an army. And I've never seen a man in the army that does not know how to fight, doesn't know how to grab a weapon, isn't an expertise in war and tactics. You understand? The army drills, right? And daggers and swinging a hergabone and having the shields and having everything in suit to win the battle. The Lord said to feed my lambs. And that's very important when you go into it. How deep is it? When the Lord has set you over with the spirit to have the understanding and you're not using it. Somewhere in the world, somebody doesn't have the understanding that you have. And you could expound on it by diving deep into the prophecy, diving deep into the common knowledge, diving deep into history, whatever the case may be, Hebrew. Whatever you know, it may be small, and stop doubting yourself, man. I'll never be a mighty prophet. I'm not like this brother. Well, brother, you'll never be like Moses. You'll never be like David. You'll never be like Ezekiel. But guess what, man? You could be the best you can be. You could fast more. And you don't know the ceiling on your spirit. A lot of brothers act like the knowledge that they know today will be the knowledge they'll have forever. When I came into the truth, I didn't know anything. Right? I have two left feet, trying to figure out what book to read. What's the Lord's real name? Right? What camp? And I'm surfing around, and is this a doctrine? Is it not? I'm trying to find out my way. And through patience and through the increase, the Lord has given me the little amount of knowledge that I do have that I'm thankful for. And the brothers got to move in that same spirit, man. Stop doubting yourself. The Lord said, the merciful man doeth good to his own soul. But thee that is hateful troubleth his own flesh. And you don't want to trouble your flesh. You are an Israelite. Don't doubt the amount of power you actually possess that the Lord can give unto you. All you have to do is stir up that gift. Verse 16, he saith unto him again the second time, Son, Salakia Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me? He said unto him, Yea, Lord, thou knowest that I love thee. He said unto him, Feed my sheep. So the Lord is telling Peter on a deeper level, look, you say you love me, right? You say you're going to do all of these things for me. You say that, you're going to give yourself for me. But the one way that I need you to show me that you actually love me is by feeding my sheep. Because Peter is a shepherd. Peter was over the church. And Peter had a responsibility to do, not to be slothful, not to be slack, not to be forgetful, not to not care, but he had one main responsibility. The Lord said, if you truly love me, what you're going to do for me, man. And brothers have to have that same mentality. Yeah, we love the Lord. He has blood in our veins. You understand, a sense of mind. We breathe every day. We go to sleep. We're safe. That's carnal. Yeah, I mean, all praise to the Most High. But I mean, is that it? Is that all the Most High is doing for us? Look on a deeper level, man. You have the sense of the greatest thing that there is on earth to know. That's who you are. You know how many Jakes right now are searching for the truth? You know how many people right now that are stuck in Christianity, reading the book of Acts 17 times and will never get the sense? You know how many sisters that are doing all they can to be submissive for their husbands, right? And they don't even know the truth. Just for the sense that they know in the spirit that it's something rightful to do, right? They could be passing out arms, right? Somebody's grandmother could be cooking in the church. People doing all of these things thinking they're doing good works, but they're not doing it in the name of the Lord. They're lost. They're sheep running astray. Somebody needs to direct the sheep. Somebody needs to help the sheep. Somebody needs to feed the sheep. Somebody needs to groom and push, you understand, the sheep. But most importantly, somebody needs to give them everything they need. And that's where you come in. That's where the mighty men of the Lord step into play, where the Lord is going to use as an instrument, you understand, to yield forth righteousness. It says this. Read it on. It says, Salaki, bear with me. Verse 17. He said unto him the third time, and 3 is completion. Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me? Peter was grieved because he said unto him the third time, Lovest thou me? And he said unto him, Lord, thou knowest all things. Thou knowest that I love thee. Yahushua said unto him, Feed my sheep. So the Lord tell you over and over and over to do what he requires of you. But man is so simple that he doesn't really understand how deep it is of what the Lord requires of you. The Lord requires more than you just doing the basics. Right? The Lord requires perfection. And if you're in his truth, the 144,000 and the 1/3, they're going to be blameless. They're going to be perfect. They're going to have on all white garments doing the work of the Lord. And these men aren't going to make excuses. These women aren't going to make excuses. They're going to do everything they can do to feed the Lord's sheep, man. Right? Women can teach children. Right? Elder women can teach the younger sisters. Right? Elder women, right, could do a lot, cooking and cleaning and all sisters for their households and their husbands, whatever the case may be, with decorations, right? Helping with feast days. It's so much that women can do. There's so much that children can do. Children could bring other children into the fold. Children can listen. Children can be a great example of having fun in the truth. There's so many things children could do. But most importantly, a man is the one that's going to guide and help the sheep to salvation. And the Lord is telling you, through the hand of Peter, if ye love me, to feed my sheep. Right? Let me get this quick precept. Because if you don't do that, you got to kind of question how deep it is, right, your faith is. Because you have to have works by your faith. You can't be so on fire and seemingly just flaming towards the Lord, but the things that the Lord has required the elect to do, you don't fulfill those positions. Let me get this quick precept. Let's go to the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 12. And I'm going to start at verse number 4. It says, Now there are diversity of gifts, but the same Spirit. And there are differences of administrations, but the same Lord. And there are diversities of operations, but it is the same God which worketh all in all. But the manifestation of the Spirit is given to every man to profit withal. So you have no excuse to say, well, I don't know what to do. I can't labor. I don't know what to put my hand to do in the vineyard. I'm going to stay on the couch. I'm going to eat popcorns. I'm going to be a keyboard warrior. I'm never going to go to the unity camps. I'm going to stay in the bed. I'm going to talk to my wife and just teach her all day and rule over her. No, brother, it's deeper than this. The Lord said, but the manifestation of the Spirit is given to every man to profit with all. Meaning every man has to bring forth some type of profit. The Lord is requiring everything from man. Let me get this in Song of Solomon. So in the day when the Lord is really looking for his recompense in that penny, you understand, for you to get, I mean, do you really deserve it? I mean, look at the parable about the penny. Don't you have to work to get a reward? Did not the Lord say the laborer is worthy of his hire, man? The hirer is worthy of his labor? This is the book of Song of Solomon, chapter 8, and verse, right, number 11. It says, Solomon had a vineyard at Baal Hermon. He let it out the vineyard to the keepers. Every one for the fruit thereof was to bring 1,000 pieces of silver. So Solomon is Yahushua in the spirit. And Solomon had a vineyard. Now, Solomon really did have a vineyard, right? That's Ecclesiastes, the 2nd chapter, verse 4 all the way down. But this is spiritual because the nation is the vineyard. That's Isaiah 5 and 7. It says, at Baal Hermon, he let out the vineyard unto keepers. The keepers would be the prophets. You can read about that in Genesis, the 2nd chapter, verse 15. Every one for the fruit thereof was to bring 1,000 pieces of silver. Now, 1,000 is a number of completion. Pieces of silver is something precious. So you have to work to bring forth the Lord's hire. Verse 12. My vineyard, which is mine, is before me. Thou, O Solomon, must have 1,000, and thou, Salakia, and those that keep the fruit thereof 200. So you're required to bring the Lord an amount of the portion that you bring forth by working. So the Lord, for lack of better terms, you have to pay him. You can't say, well, I'm not going to pay the Lord. You know, I'm not paying the Lord. With everything I work for, I'm going to keep. Well, brother, you're not even working to begin with. And this isn't carnalness, man. This isn't mowing the grass. This isn't taking somebody's child out and babysitting them on a walk or a stroll. This isn't dog walking, man. Right? This isn't taking out somebody's trash. What this is the highest form of work and labor that the Lord has created. And you have to bring forth his fruit in the day of harvest. Let me get this quick precept. Let's go to the mighty book of Matthew, chapter 25, in verse number 14. Because the Lord deals heavily with money, right, on a spiritual level. It's the book of Matthew, chapter 25 and 14. For the kingdom of heaven is as a man traveling into a far country, who called his own servants and delivered unto them his goods. So the Lord went into the third heaven, right? This is talking about Yahushua. He went into that far country, who called his own servants, meaning the prophets, and delivered unto them his goods. The goods is the understanding, the thing to profit withal. It says, and unto one he gave 5 talents. Talents is money, right? And he gave one 5, to another 2, and to another 1. To every man according to his several ability. So you may be a brother that out there that maybe, you know, for lack of better terms, could do something like 1. And that's okay. I mean, all praise to the Most High. The Lord even chose you to give a talent too. And don't underestimate how important or how strong that 1 talent actually is. Because any doctor or professor, theologian or scientist wouldn't even be half the man that you are and have half the understanding that the Lord will give you. You know, 2 and 5 are a little bit more, but I mean, that's all the will of the Most High. It says, and Salakia, and to another 1, to every man according to his several ability, and straightway took his journey. Then he had received 5 talents, went and traded with the same, and made them other 5 talents. Meaning this man went out in the vineyard and he flipped the Lord's money. Meaning he brought forth an increase. You see anybody that take a loan out of a bank and then they pay it back that same week or that same month, they won't be hesitant to give them another loan. they won't be hesitant to triple that loan. I hope that person to prosper even more with that business. So how much more? That's a carnal level. How much more the Lord? The Lord see you taking care of your husband, your children. You understand your household, right? You just laying up more and more treasures of the Lord. Now you're just getting submissive spirits out of nowhere. Now you're getting delicate, comely, loving, the law of kindness. Now you're just building onto a Proverbs 31 woman. And you start laboring, right? Just going over Deuteronomy 28. Now you're just getting, curious, and now you're diving into Proverbs. And Proverbs is deep in the spirit. Now you're going into Sirach. Now you just right on that surface level with that one fold. Now you done dipped into Psalms to the point where the Lord said, you know what? I have to give this man some more increase. Now you're diving into other books. Now you're going into Micah. Now you're diving all the way, you understand, in Habakkuk and Nahum. Now the Lord said, you know what? I have to indulge in this man a little bit more, and now I'm going to give him fivefold. Now you in Daniel. Now you in Revelation. Now you in Second Esdras. Now you in the book of Job. Now you diving and you swimming in the waters. It says, then he that received 5 talents went and traded with the same and made them other 5 talents. And likewise, he that had received 2, he also gained other 2. But he that received 1 went and digged in the earth and hid his Lord's money. And for whatever reason, this man hid the Lord's money. It could have been for shame. It could have been for doubt. It could have been for slothfulness. It could have been because he loved the world. It could have been for various reasons. It could have been for a woman, right? God knows what the reason is why men hide the Lord's money. And that's a lot of brothers in this truth, man, that don't labor. They have all of this knowledge. It may not be a lot. It may not feel like you're applicable to teach, but you just hide it. You do nothing with it. You just hide it, man. Go to work every day. You tuck your fringes in. You wear your tie. You go home and do nothing. You just watch TV and watch a breakdown video. And then you go to sleep. Then you wake up and do it all over again. Verse 19. After a long time, the Lord of those servants cometh and reckoneth with them. You don't know how the Lord's going to reckon with you, man. Because you may actually be an apostle on the earth. You may actually be a prophet. You may actually be a man of God. And you don't even know it. Don't let a sense of not having a camp or not being in a popular camp or, anything carnal. This isn't a popularity contest. This isn't who's been in the truth the longest. It isn't who's your elder. The Lord don't care about stuff like that, man. The Lord searches man. And through man, he's going to try your reins. Do you really love me? Are you really patient? Are you going to really endure? What is your heart towards me? What fruit are you bringing forth? These are the questions that you're going to have to answer. So the Lord is coming to reckon with these men. Verse 20. And so he that had received 5 talents came and brought other 5 talents, saying, Lord, thou didst unto me 5 talents. Behold, I have gained beside them 5 talents more. His Lord said unto him, Well done, thou good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord. Meaning, come into the kingdom. Receive the fruit and the reward of your labor. All the hard counsels, the staying up late, your feet hurt, right? Sacrificing yourself, or just having one wife, or not having that job that pays more. Whatever the case you may have done in captivity to limit the things that you could have had and passed on opportunities that could have been presented to you. You did it all for the name of the Lord, man. While other people were enjoying this world and getting comfortable in it. It says, he that have received 2 talents came and said, Lord, thou deliverest unto me 2 talents. Behold, I have gained 2 other talents beside them. His Lord said unto him, Well done, good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord. Right? Meaning, come and get the kingdom. You've been faithful over a very few things. The Lord isn't asking for you to stay up, man, 24/7 and run a 24/7 hour live, man. And don't eat or sleep for 3 days straight until you have sealed the elect. The Lord isn't asking these things of you. All he wants you to do is to feed his sheep, right? To do the work of the Lord. It says, then he which had received the 1 talent came and said, Lord, I knew thee that thou art an hard man, reaping where thou hast not sown, and gathering where thou hast not strawed. See that, man? Stop playing with the Lord. And the Lord is an austere man. He'll reap where he didn't sow. Meaning the Lord will come and just take stuff that he didn't plan up, man. Because he's the Lord. He could do that, man. The Lord gonna come on you. He gonna come right in the vineyard where he didn't reap, where you was supposed to be bringing in, and he's gonna take what little you have. What are you gonna have in the Lord, man? You gonna have an excuse? You gonna have my back? My wife, Lord. Look at this job, Lord. 12-hour days, 14-hour days, Lord. What is the excuse are you gonna bring before the Lord? You should know that the Lord's a hard man. Why? Because you have 1 talent. The Lord isn't a mystery to you. You have the understanding about how he gets down, the earthquakes, windstorms, tsunamis, death rates, kills babies, makes men insane, creates delusions, death angels. You should already know this thing, man. It says, and I was afraid and went and hid thy talent in the earth. Lo, there thou hast, Slakia, there thou hast that is thine. His Lord answered and said unto him, thou wicked and slothful servant. So whatever understanding and knowledge the Lord presents you, you never know in the day of the Lord how and why and how much the answer and the way the Lord is going to come at you, man. And the Lord could come at all of us, right? Araya, you could have been doing more, which is absolutely true. And Most High willing, I have the zeal and the spirit to do twice as much and 7 times as much that I'm doing right now. Because I want to be sealed. And I don't want to be sealed by an inch. I don't want to be sealed by putting my big thumb, right, big toe between the door crack, right? And then the door was closing and I pull a Jackie Chan move and I just roll under it, man. Like this isn't a Jet Li flick. I want to be presented before the Lord spotless and blameless. I don't want to be hurry up and throwing on my garment in the last days, man, and trying to dust it off. Hey, the Lord wants you to stay ready. He wants you to keep watch. And I want to have the spirit, and Most High you do too, to be ready in that day, man, and be working. So when the Lord actually does come, you're caught working. You don't want to be that man at the job, the lights cut on. And you just hurry up and waking up out of sleep. You got your legs kicked up on the desk. You're supposed to be watching the cameras and answering phones, and you're on your phone. Or you're doing God knows what, man. You're in the bathroom, ducking off in the stalls. Right? It says, it's the book, Matthew chapter 25 and verse, I'm going to start at 27. I'm going to start at 26. And his Lord answered and said unto him, thou wicked and slothful servant, thou knewest that I reap where I sow not, and gather where I have not strawed. Thou oughtest therefore to have put my money to the exchangers, and then at my coming I should have received my own with usury. Take therefore the talent from him, and give it unto him which have 10 talents. So, I mean, when a lot of brothers that don't do nothing with the understanding that the Lord has given them, the Lord takes it from them. And a lot of brothers, they fall out the truth, man. And God forbid any brother watching this falls out the truth for their lack of diligence and lack of work ethic that they're bringing forth towards the Lord. I mean, to say that WFI or any other camp feels like laboring 24/7 is a lie, because we're in the flesh. No, brothers have dealt with deaths in the family, fired from their jobs, right? A lot of brothers may have back ailments and problems. We teach in 0-degree weather. Brothers may have sicknesses and diseases, right? And damn bacterias, right, from the cold weather or whatever the case may be. And to say somebody just jipper about going out there when we may or may not see one soul is a lie, man. But you know why we do it? Because we love the Lord. And whether we see a soul or we don't, whether the camera's on, whether the camera's off, whether it's fruitful or unfruitful, the Most High is watching. And that's the whole point, that we lace up our boots, right? We take care of our families and we go out there and we make sure that the Lord is beholding our works because we love our people. So if you love your people, you love your nation, you're sick of captivity, you want to work, you love the Lord, and all of these things are true, brother, put forth an effort to at least start to study to put yourself in a position to teach. Study to put yourself in a position maybe to be a prospect for a camp. Move so that you're closer to Israelites. Do things that you need to do to bring forth fruit. Hey, the Lord said, Salaki, so I'm so used to saying that. It's a saying in the world, right? You can't go fishing where it ain't no water. I mean, you gotta move to places that's lucrative. You gotta make things happen. You can't keep doing the same things and expect a different outcome out of the situation, right? And that may be hard sometimes. Gotta change up your friends, maybe your job environment, maybe where you live. Whatever you gotta do to make sure that you can bring forth fruit, now is the time. You can't keep waiting. I mean, what are you waiting for, man? There's not going to be a green arrow from the third heaven pointing this way and a bunch of menorahs lighting up the path for you to follow. The Lord lighting up the path are the servants of the Lord, the teaching, the spirit. You getting cut, the words of life, feeling condemned, having a conscience to where you know that the words spoken to you are true. These are the things that man needs to hear to strengthen themselves up to go harder in the spirit. Right? This is all of the will of the Most High. Right? But with that, right, I want to close out giving all honor and glory to the Most High God Yahweh, by Shema Mashiach, Wamalak Yahushua. Lord willing, this was edifying. Quick video through the spirit. Most High willing, all brothers go harder in the spirit and obtain the type of spiritual label before the Lord, as well as the sisters doing women works, magnifying the Most High. By Shema Mashiach, Wamalak Yahushua. Shalom.